I don't know what we're yelling about!
Ahoy there, fangirls and fanboys! You've reached episode 19 of Electric Fan Cave on electricfeast.com. Corrigan Vaughn and Kristin Latterell here to bring you a little lunchtime entertainment and keep you informed of what's going on around the interwebs. Last week we showed you a heartwarming interview between Ian McKellen and Michael Fassbender. This week we're one-upping it with some James McAvoy and Patrick Stewart throwing their hats into the impression ring. We're going to talk about the best-kept secret on the internet, the Mythbusters-based Tested.com. We'll discuss some potentially exciting movie news, and we'll question the wisdom of putting Lucas Black in anything, ever. Plus, we close out the show with a new segment we're calling the Pop 5. 5 things you need to know to connect with your coworkers and classmates this week. So, let's do it. Hey, Kristin.
Howdy, Corey. How's it going?
It's good. I just did a trampoline fitness class this morning. Have you heard of this?
No. That sounds both awful and awesome.
Right? It is both of those things in equal measure.
Right, because I have this weird fear of trampolines, so...
Oh, okay.
I'm always worried my leg's going to slip through the spring, and I'm going to fall, and or I'm going to land on my neck and be paralyzed forever. Those are my two fears.
That's it's really extreme.
Yeah.
At this place, it's like a set of squares of these trampolines, and you can't see that little springy spot that you're always afraid your leg's gonna go through. It's it's covered and all that jazz, so you can't fall through it. I fell on it many times, but they do these circuits, and so each one's like a minute, and you got the like kettlebells, and you got all like the craziness, and like 1 minute at a time you're doing all this stuff. But like after, like I was like, I'm good, like, and then like 20 minutes into it, I'm like, I'm less good, and then like 30 minutes, I'm like, I'm dying, dear God. And,
why did I do this?
Yeah, and it was just me and the trainer because nobody else showed up for class this morning, and that was fine because then I wasn't making a fool of myself in front of people. But I get home, right, and I'm like, I know this is bad. Like I walk out of there and I'm panting in the parking lot, and we've already had like 5 minutes of cool down, like. This isn't like I just did it. Yeah, we've like had cool down. I walk out and I'm like, oh God, oh jeez. And I go and I like sit on the like tailgate of my car for a little bit just to like unwind because I'm like, I don't know if I can drive home at the moment. And I get back and I'm walking across the parking lot and I see the stairs in front of my house. I'm like, I'm going to need a ramp. This is not going to go down.
Are you talking about the 4 stairs that are in front of
your
your house?
4 stairs in front of my house. And so I just sort of like jello-legged all the way down, just hit the bottom and was like, stuck the landing.
Have you ever had those moments like, maybe if I just roll down these stairs, that would be okay?
Yeah. Would people maybe not see me if I just sat down and scooted?
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh man.
That was really something.
Corey, this is why we don't work out. You know?
I know.
I rode a bike yesterday, and bike riding always sounds so much fun until you get like, you know. I don't know if can I say vagina?
You can say vagina.
You know how it just hurts because those bikes are not made. They're just not, I mean, and luckily it was even a beach cruiser, so it's like got the, you know, it's for like,
it's supposed to be padded,
but it still has like the pointy front area, which is just not padded.
No, I agree.
And my leg, and it's like, and every time I always feel, do you remember those commercials for March Madness when the guy was watching, and I mean, it's clearly 3 a.m, and he's just watching it on a loop, you know, or whatever, I don't know, the time change, so he just is watching basketball, and he has his leg tucked up underneath him, and you hear the announcer say, okay, that's halftime, folks, we'll be right back after this, and he goes to stand up, but his leg is falling asleep, and he just collapses onto the floor.
This happens to me regularly.
Yes.
In fact, I'm sitting on my leg right now, and I'm anticipating that being a thing.
Yes, but that's what I feel like every time I get off of a bike.
Yeah,
oh my
right.
God, I'm going to have that March Madness moment.
That should not be asleep, you know?
Yeah, and I don't know. They just all, and it's the same thing, like the jello-y legs, and I'm just, I feel, I run, I work out in quotes. I don't work out, but I jog or whatever.
You do your jogging.
Sometimes I lift heavy-ish things at work.
Listen, they said when I signed on here I needed to be able to lift at least 50 pounds occasionally.
Yeah. I'm like, can I get one of those janitor belts? Is that like a thing that I need? I can get one of those.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, yeah, but anyway, leg exercising is
it's
hard.
It's rough. I just felt, and it's like you go to these workout things, right? And it's like they've got all these different ways to torment you.
Yeah.
And so you're just like every time they tell you the next circuit you're gonna do, or after you finish the circuits, the next like there's like, all right, we're gonna do some like ab and core stuff, and I'm like lying on a trampoline, passing an exercise ball between my hands and my feet, and then like stretching out, and I'm like, what fresh hell? Who comes up with stuff like this? You know?
Yeah. Yes.
I don't.
Satan comes up with them. That's who it is.
Yeah, and then at the end I was like, well, I'll see you on Wednesday. Like, I signed on to do it again, and I don't know what it.
Yeah, that's right. Isn't it like childbirth? People are like, oh yeah, it hurts. It's so terrible, but then you like forget, right? Isn't that the thing where you forget?
Like endorphins or whatever,
or something,
which are also
like a science thing, I think. But then I was reading. I was reading People magazine yesterday, and it had, I don't know, some kind of hot country guy issue in it. And was it Tim McGraw or something was saying, you really gotta work out like 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Why?
I know. This is the crazy thing, because did we talk about this? That article I saw in Men's Fitness that was talking about how like no human guy can be as ripped as these guys. Yeah, because they're in the gym like 6 hours a day. Like they leave and they just go back. Like they go and they eat like some chicken and some broccoli, and then they just go back.
Like, is your life? Do you really feel that much better?
Well, I'm sure they don't, but that's how they make their bajillions of dollars, is by doing that.
I guess. But
I mean, think if you didn't have anything else to do all day, though. Like, your job is just to have, like, a hot body. Like, that's your one job. And then maybe sing sometimes.
I wouldn't want to do that. I would quit.
No, I think I probably would, too, realistically.
I would quit.
That's never going to be anything.
Also, wait, was there a lot of jumping on the trampolines?
Yes.
Is that problematic for you? Or was that okay?
Yeah, well, it is a little problematic. I was wearing, like, 3 sports bras.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that. I didn't know how in-depth we were going to get in here. So I didn't want to be like, dude.
Oh, no.
Because...
Yeah, I was about to go, like, full Christina Ricci and now and then and just, like, start taping. Tape them down.
You're wrapping them in? Like, she's the man?
Yeah, like she's the man. One of those. So, yeah, it was a little problematic. But at the end of it, it was really fun. I will say it was entertaining. So if you live near a place that does, like, trampoline aerobics, I would recommend it. It was like, I felt like a little kid because at the end of it, they gave me like a 8-pound, like, tiny medicine ball thing. And then we did, like, the linebacker things and then, like, threw the ball at each other. And I was like, whee! Afterwards. And the girl was like, do you want to do it again? And I was like, no.
I'm good.
No, that was enough.
Thanks, bro.
That was a good lap, and I'm done. So there's that. But this also makes me think of it, because I'm jumping up and down. You didn't see any of the Tonys last night, did you?
I didn't, no.
Okay,
they don't come on Ion television.
Yeah. Even though they are positively entertaining, they don't come on.
There's lots of things that are positively entertaining that should be on Ion television. Yeah.
And FYI, for anyone who doesn't know, Ion is the only channel that Kristin gets in her home. So if it's not on Ion...
I don't see it. If it's not a rerun of The Listener...
I'm not even entirely sure what that is.
It's like some Canadian TV show about like a psychic guy that can read minds.
Oh, excellent.
I mean, they have The Listener, but they don't have Instant Star? Come on,
Come on, prioritize. We should talk about that too, by the way. But the trampolining thing makes me think of the beginning of the Tonys, and also speaking of like men just working out like crazy in Hollywood. We know Hugh Jackman is Hugh Jackman. His name basically means like big muscly guy, like Hugh Jackman.
It does actually in whatever the Aborigines speak. I couldn't even make that believable.
So close. It was.
I don't know what they.
The joke is almost there.
Almost funny. That's the story of my life. Almost funny.
But so like
that's gonna be the name of my memoir. Almost Funny.
Almost Funny by Kristin Latterell.
Almost doesn't count.
Aww. Womp womp. So the beginning of the Tonys, he starts outside, like, where they're doing like red carpet stuff and everything, and he's like, all right, see you later, everyone. And then he starts hopping. Just hopping up and down.
On a pogo stick?
No, just feet. Just hopping. up and down, and hops all the way inside, down the hallways. Then he, like, stops briefly in an elevator with NPH for, like, 15 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets off, and he keeps hopping, and then he hops up the aisle on stage at the Tonys, hops some more, and then they, like, go into, like, a number or something where he introduces it. But I was just like, that guy just hopped in a tux for, like, 5 minutes.
And hopping is hard.
It is. It's really hard.
Because it's both legs and the, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, perfectly straight, like a board the whole time, never slumped. I was just like, I mean,
I saw X-Men, so we all know what was going on underneath that text.
True. He referenced it, too. He referenced his nude scene in X-Men, and then my brain, like, fuzzed over, and I lost time.
He back to it, and he wasn't even on screen anymore.
Yeah, I was like, what am I watching? Where are we? Is it
Where am I?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So there's that. Also, we will get to what we're going to talk about, but I just want to say I just lent Kristin the Canadian television series Instant Star, which is the ultimate girl series. If you are a girl and you pick up this series, you will lose your days to it. Like, it's it. So, Kristin, how far are you?
Well, here's the thing. So shortly after you gave it to me, I got the stomach flu, and so I was puking. You know, I was paying tribute to the porcelain god on Tuesday. So Tuesday night I watched them while as I also slept in the bathroom. And then Wednesday I felt like I got hit by a truck, so I stayed at home from work. And so I watched 2 seasons on because there's not that many episodes and they're short.
Yeah,
right?
they're like 24 minutes or something like that. Yeah. So you go through them super fast. And is it not Unsweet 16 that is the moment where you're just like...
Yeah, okay, because I'll be honest with you, I'm watching, I'm like, okay, because here's the thing. So for those of you who also don't know me, one of my favorite TV shows in the history of time is One Tree Hill.
Yep.
I love it. My brother and I started watching it when it started because we thought it was about basketball, and we were both in high school and we loved basketball. So we're like, yeah, watch this show. And then by the time we kind of got sucked in, we realized it wasn't really about basketball.
No.
But by then we were kind of invested, so we just watched it for the next 9 years. You know? They know what's up.
Yeah. That's a bait and switch they pulled on you.
Yeah. And so what I do though is I kind of compare all other teen soap dramas to One Tree Hill because I see that as kind of the epitome. I mean, they had it all. They had it all.
Oh boy, did they!
Did they? I mean, they had too much almost. Like,
I would watch
the full spectrum.
Yeah, in the latter seasons of that show,
which got really bad. So yeah.
And I would watch the last 4 minutes that aired before Gossip Girl, and then just try to fill in the rest of the plot in my head of what happened, and it got nuttier and nuttier to the point where I'm like, I don't know, someone had sex with someone and then murdered them in the act, or I don't know. Anything could happen.
It's crazy. So I kind of was and so when you Instant Star and you're telling me about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this sounds like a Canadian One Tree Hill. I have to watch it, you know?
Right. So
I was watching the first few, and I was 6. I'm like, I'll just keep watching it, and I was kind of into it, but I was actually honestly getting to the point where I'm like, I don't really know if I want to keep watching this. And then I hit Unsweet 16. I was like,
yeah. The story of this show is this girl wins an American Idol type competition. Yeah. And so this is her life becoming a celebrity. And you're kind of following along. You're like, oh, this is, some cute fellas or whatever. Cute-ish, but in a Canadian sort of way. And
they say weird about and
say weird words and all that stuff. But then it gets to this one episode, Unsweet 16, that has probably the most magical kiss in the history of television.
It almost wasn't even
buried in Canadian TV.
And the part right before that when he's talking to I don't even want to say names. Yeah, when he's talking to Quest, and Quest is like, oh,
but if she were,
he goes in a second, and I was like,
oh my god! I just love that because this is Google Plus. Instead of the normal way that we do this, it just panned back to an empty chair. I know. No, we used to, in college, we would just rewind it. We would just watch that over.
I did.
Over.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
That is exactly. I'm just so thankful that I got the stomach flu when I did because I needed Instant Star to get me through it this week.
Right?
It was so. I mean, I can't even tell you. I mean, the beautiful, just cheesiness of it all.
Yeah.
Just the overreactedness of things.
Exactly.
I don't know. Just it's awesome. It's amazing.
It's a great
love
show.
it.
So if you've never seen it, if you weren't one of those people like me who watched a lot of The N when you were younger, you might have missed this, or you might have flipped away after Degrassi and not stayed for Instant Star. You should pick it up. It's pretty cheap on Amazon.
And honestly, I'm just so in love with Speederman, I can't even handle it.
I love that you love Speederman.
He is my favorite. He is my favorite person on that show.
Yeah, I think his Twitter feed's pretty adorable too.
Oh my gosh!
So
can we follow him?
We can follow him. I'll add him on our thing, and you can follow along.
He's just so. Oh my gosh, I just love him. And then it was funny too because I also read The Summer I Became a Nerd.
Yes. Oh, guys, you all need to read this too.
So I'm reading that and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, Speederman is Logan Scott.
Oh, that's a good image. The Summer I Became a Nerd by Leah Ray Miller, right? Leah Ray Miller, that's her name. Is a fantastic little book I happened to pick up at Barnes & Noble last summer. I got it like the day it came out, just unintentionally. I was like, this looks fun. And it's just a cute nerd story about a girl who likes comic books and everything, but she is, afraid to admit it to people. And, it's the South. That's a thing. No, so she's afraid to admit it to people. And she meets like this geeky guy, and they have kind of a thing, but it's a very standard sort of love story, but with all kinds of geek stuff thrown in.
Tons. And I mean, so many that even I didn't get all of them, but but it was great too because they combined all of the things. So if you like Harry Potter, whatever, if you like comic books, you're good. If you like
LARPing,
if you like
there's
LARPing,
like a huge part of it that takes place around LARPing.
Oh man,
it's quality. So yeah, I would highly recommend that, and I lent that to Laddie this week as well. So I'm glad that I was able to provide some things to get you through your stomach flu here. And now you've frozen. Oh boy. Come back, Laddie.
Oh, are you there?
Hey, there we go. Excellent. I was just Facebooking you. Sorry. But anyways, yeah, I am glad that between Summer I Became a Nerd and Instant Star, I was able to provide a little bit of pleasure during your puke fest.
Puking. You guys, puking is the worst.
Yeah.
If you're wondering, I'm sure you all know that, but yeah.
I feel that. So maybe we should talk about some real
things now.
Although
things that people actually have heard of.
Yeah, we just gave some good recommendations though.
Yeah, you're welcome. If you're sick, Instant Star, I'm telling you guys.
Instant Star and Summer I Became a Nerd. Everybody should just read that. It's a good summer read.
It is. Or a day read. I mean, it literally took me 4 hours, I think.
Yeah, super quick one. Okay, so why don't we, since we're just talking about things that are wonderful and make our hearts happy, did my video disappear for you?
No.
Oh, it's back now. Okay. Let's talk about James McAvoy and Patrick Stewart right now. So last week we were like, I wonder if James McAvoy and Patrick Stewart did an interview with each other like Fassbender and McKellen did. Apparently they did. Did you see a longer version of the interview, or is that all you saw?
No, I sent you both, I think. Because at first I just sent you the clipping one, and then I said, oh, here's the full one. So yeah, I did watch the full one, and then the one where they kind of mashed it with the Fassbender when they're doing.
Yeah. Okay. So then, was the full one just as amazing as the?
They're just so cute, and they didn't do. It's kind of different. I feel like they kind of took their interviewing almost a little more seriously, a little bit. Not too serious. So they still were joking around and being adorable, but they were getting into their question. I don't know.
I do feel like maybe Patrick Stewart is slightly less of an old man than Ian McKellen is, in countenance and everything. So, with Fassbender interviewing him, it felt very much like he was just entertained by his old mannishness. Yeah. All of that stuff. Where I feel like with McAvoy and Stewart, it's a little more Stewart's a little more hip. It's a little more with it. He's married to a woman who's 32, Yeah,
of course he is. By the way, did you see that picture that I think Anne Helen posted on Facebook of a young Patrick Stewart?
Oh, but it's not really, though.
Oh, wasn't it?
My mother posted this same picture. I thought this was hilarious that my mom and Anne Helen Peterson were tricked by the same thing. But I looked at that, I was like, Ma, I am pretty sure that's Andy Whitfield. And she was like, who? I was like, Andy Whitfield. She was like, no. She was like, no, I checked it. It's Patrick Stewart. I was like, nah, ma. I know my Andy Whitfield, and that's Andy Whitfield. And she's like, I don't think so. And then someone posted it under Anne Helen's this time, too. They were like, yeah, that's definitely Andy Whitfield. I was like, do not mess. I have watched the documentary. I know my Andy Whitfield.
Sorry. Okay, well, never mind then. Scratch that entire conversation.
That's unrelated to anything except that Andy Whitfield is good looking, and I'm sure that Patrick Stewart.
They apparently.
Andy Whitfield was good looking, and I'm sure Patrick Stewart was as a youngin' too.
Yes. Well, anyway, so they talked, and it was cute, and yeah, it was cute. They're just, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, I love James McAvoy's accent is just so wonderful.
Adorable.
He really should. They should let him use it more.
I
know
agree,
it's kind of hard to understand.
Not in those movies, though, that I don't want to see. Like, he's been in a couple movies lately that he's, like, gross and, like...
Yeah, like filth.
Yeah, like filth. I'm like, ooh, I'm never seeing that. There's no
right.
way. I can't do that like this. I like him when he's adorable and something like this, like, where he was getting so... Yeah. Oh, Penelope. Yes, so good.
I watched Penelope because after watching the interview, I'm like, I need to have this. I got to do this.
Oh, yeah, that's a go-to for me. I can watch that anytime. But in this one, like, Patrick Stewart's trying to, like, egg him on and be like, oh, say this. And he's like, oh, no. And he's like, I can't.
He's like, say space. And he's like, no.
Yeah. Like, oh, that's too big. I can't do it. And it's so cute. Because with, like, then they show the clips in that of Fassbender doing his, and it's like, he gets into character. He closes his eyes, you know. Like,
yeah. Well, it's honestly like almost, I don't want to put this, maybe this isn't true, but it's almost as if James McAvoy is a little just too nervous with Patrick Stewart. So I feel like he's so nervous, so he just kind of keeps reading the questions, you know, like, okay. And so he's still cute, and they have like a cute little banter, but they're just kind of, I don't know.
Yeah. It's precious nonetheless. Now, did you ever see the video? This is one of my favorite interviews. Sorry. Of the X-Men guys, and it's Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy are being interviewed, and I think it's that one guy, Peter Travers from Rolling Stone, but I could be wrong, and he has people sing something at the end of it, and so Michael Fassbender is like, oh, well, you remember this song, you know, from youth, it's like a, you know, sort of a folk song or whatever, and James McAvoy just pretends he knows what he's talking about, and it's like Garth and Kat on SNL. Because he's just following Michael Fassbender's mouth, trying to sing along with this. I don't know why he didn't just say, no, I don't remember that song. He's just like, oh, yeah.
Maybe he didn't want Michael Fassbender to be, like, left hanging, right? You know, because it's like, oh, you know this? And they're like, no. And you're like, oh, okay, I just couldn't either.
Good story. Let's sing my MCA or something.
He's probably trying to save his story.
And so that's why I think, like, James McAvoy is so cute, because it's like he's so nervous in the, like, Patrick Stewart one, and in this one with Michael Fassbender, he's just like, sure, yeah, that's, I can sing along with that.
Yeah. So good.
It's adorable. Yeah. So we were right. There is another section of the interview.
There is.
And
you should watch it.
Yeah, I will post that on the blog, and you guys can watch that as well, and just enjoy how wonderful they are. And we should just keep enjoying X-Men related things.
That's true. I'm down.
Oops, my phone just did its Dr. Horrible ringtone. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, what's happening? She's like, I hear sounds.
Is
that a chainsaw outside my window?
My friend Alex sends me the best pop culture related text messages. And
was that the one that texted you because she saw Franz Kranz?
Yeah.
Or whatever?
Yeah, she saw Fran Kranz, and also so that's amongst the
I'm hot.
The great. Yeah, this is amongst the great text messages she sent me, is that she saw Fran Kranz, and then the next message from her was something like, he was with a girl and we're way cuter than her, he should be with us instead.
So true.
I love it. So today's is hormonal cry sesh upon learning Drop Dead Fred has died. I'm like, that is a wonderful, that's exaggerated response. I don't know if you can see it, but
no, you always hold stuff out. The last time she texted, you tried to hold it up to the screen. I was like, I can't.
I'll learn someday that doesn't do anything. But Alex Blakey, I love your pop culture text messages.
They're wonderful. I love them too, because I'm
and she's sort of
around when they happen.
Yeah, and she's sort of into like 80s-ish stuff, like her favorite like 80s and 90s things. So she loves like Heathers and like the John Waters hairspray and things like that. So something like 80s, 90s icons. She's into it. Anyways, speaking of other wonderful people besides McAvoy and Stewart, Adam Savage.
Oh my gosh.
So the Nerdist ran this article the other day about Adam Savage, and this website he has called tested.com. Were you aware of this before, Kristin?
I wasn't. No. Well, I just thought it was so funny because I feel like I keep seeing things. I don't know. Sometimes I think Nerdist just lives in my brain because I'll be talking about something and then, no joke, 3 days later they're like, "Oh, look at this news!" I'm like, "Whoa!" I mean, I don't really necessarily always talk about MythBusters. Maybe I should more, but we had just talked about it, and I got on. It was online. Yeah. And it had this article, and so I was like, I mean, it makes total sense. I guess we should probably explain it. Tested. So they don't have all the time in the world, obviously, on MythBusters, and they're just busting myths, obviously. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show.
You're doing a really good job of explaining it.
This is why I don't explain things. Anyway, let me just go. I'm just going to start, and I'm going to assume that you guys know what MythBusters is. If you don't, go look it up and then watch this episode. Anyway, so they only have so much time on MythBusters, and they're so busy, with their experience that they have that you don't really get to see this other side of, the article focused on Adam Savage, who's just super creative, and he'll see something in movies and be like, see if I can try doing that. And so he'll try to recreate it. So so Tested is essentially him, and he has like a man cave.
My dog is licking my leg right now. It's creeping me out. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of movement coming at the camera. So, anyway, so he has like this man cave, which is essentially just like a den of awesome. And there's just, it's like a workshop. So he just has stuff, and they film these episodes or webisodes of like another show of him basically just doing what he wants to do, which is making geeky stuff and cool things that he's just into, kind of, which is so funny.
And this has been going on for like 4 years that I never knew about it, and it's great. Like, I was a Bob Ross Joy of Painting enthusiast as a child. This is why I watch ASMR videos now. But these like have that same like instructional, but like super excited and also mesmerizing quality. So like I was watching them and I was just like, I don't think I could ever really make this, but I feel like I could make this. Like, because he gets so into it.
He was doing the gun. I was just watching the one where he was doing the gun from Fifth Element, which was the clip that they had, I think. And he's like talking all about it. I'm like, I could totally do that.
Yeah, no problem.
Guys, I could not do that. I can't. No way. I can barely make a picture frame, let alone a gun from Fifth Element.
Yeah, and first, like, I mean, you need like a man cave full of toys and tools to make that happen. That helps as well. Which I think one of the greatest things, like, for like Adam Savage and Jamie Hyneman, obviously they were doing special effects work before this stuff, but MythBusters is what really, like, made them famous and rich. And so they have all this money to just do all the things that they want to do. Yeah. And like I've seen pictures and videos like in Adam Savage's house, and he's got all this crazy stuff everywhere, and apparently his wife has no problem with this, which is cool. And he's like constantly building things, and it's just like he created a playhouse in San Francisco, this multi-million-dollar playhouse.
Right.
I'm like, that's...
My playhouse was a cardboard box. So
yeah, right? Like literal styles.
The actual box.
Yeah, if you're lucky, someone in the neighborhood bought a refrigerator, and you get...
Yeah, and you're like, school!
Yeah, woo! On that note, once someone did buy a refrigerator in my neighborhood when I was a kid, and we were like, yeah, refrigerator box, awesome! And so I was like walking down the street in it, and my friend Jenna was walking along with me, and her brother decided to start throwing baseballs at it while I was in it, and I was like, ah! And then my dear friend, I've always had friends like this, that while like most of the brunt of force would be aimed at me, they were always the one who got injured. So somehow she walked around the box, he threw the ball and broke her arm. So we managed to have a serious injury occur while playing with a refrigerator box.
Well, I don't think that that really counts as, you can't really blame it on the refrigerator box.
I guess it's not, but I think we're probably the only kids in the world who can say that a refrigerator box led to a serious injury.
Led to a broken arm.
Right?
Well, now no kids are ever going to be able to play in refrigerator boxes.
No, now they're going to make laws about it.
Yeah. They're going to put a disclaimer on the side of the box.
Yeah, there's going to be a special episode of television about it. Like, remember the Punky Brewster episode where we weren't supposed to hide in the fridge? Is that, do you know? Okay, well, there was a special episode of Punky Brewster where there was, like, an unplugged fridge in the backyard or something like that, and Cherry goes and hides in it, and she gets stuck, and they can't find her, and she almost dies.
If you don't hide in the unplugged refrigerator, then how are you supposed to survive a nuclear attack?
That's a good point. Let's think about that, Punky.
Yeah, because I
Miss
saw
Know It All.
Yeah, I saw the... Never mind.
Well, big gulps, huh? But you guys should check out tested.com because there's so many cool things on there. Especially, like, I feel like, have you ever seen that Canadian show, How It's Made? It's, like, really boring because all it is like, they literally just show stuff being made and a Canadian guy, like, talks like, and now, what? No?
I thought there was one like that's on, like, the Food Network or TLC or something.
Well, yeah, it's on, like, Discovery Channel or something like that, but it's super Canadian, so, like, when they make stop signs, it says stop in French, or, like, things like that on it. And it's just a guy who's just like, and now they put the metal through the sheet, and it gets pushed, and they melt it down, and they paint it.
And you're like, yeah, I think I probably could have figured that one out, guys.
Yeah, good talk. So it's like, if you took that, like, your curiosity about how things are made, and, like, put that together with the general excitement of the man who burnt off his own eyebrow in an episode of Mythbusters, and tested.com is wonderful. There's also podcasts on it and all kinds of blogs and whatnot, so check it out.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Yeah, so we've got a few movie announcements.
Soul Brother, check it out now. Soul Brother. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. How many times have I seen She's All That? Speaking of things we can quote back
there you
to front. Yeah. That's everything Paul Walker said in that movie was like something I quoted in middle school. Like,
oh, man. My brother sent me a picture of a Corona yesterday, and he just tagged it, Mi Familia. And I was like, oh, my God. And I texted him back, ride or die.
This is an obsession, you guys. It's an obsession.
It's a problem.
It is.
Did I also say the story? Well, real quick, Fast and Furious story. He sent me, my brother texted me this picture of Vin Diesel, I don't know, 3 weeks ago.
As one does, yeah.
Yeah, of course. And he goes, do you know where this is from? And so I looked at the picture, and it was clearly, I mean, obviously, any idiot would have known this. Said nobody ever. It was clearly the scene from the Fast and Furious 6 when he's inside of the airplane.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and they're having their big battle.
Yep.
It's like kind of like this. He's like turning back, looking, and I was like, "Duh, that's from Fast and Furious 6 from inside the airplane." And my brother texts me back, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm a little scared of you right now." It's like, yeah, because it didn't even dawn on me to lie to him and say I didn't know, because I was like, "Of course I know where this is," and I responded, and then I was like, "That's weird that I know that."
Yeah, like maybe I shouldn't be proud of it, or I'm pretty sure I could have picked that out.
Oh, you totally could have. It was totally obvious. I don't want to like be like a bragger, but
yeah. By the way, Triple X was on TV the other day, but in Spanish.
I watched some of it.
Oh, it was like in Spanish, or was it on in English too?
Oh, I don't know. I was at my parents' house.
And so you don't remember what language the film was on?
It was on in English. Why would I be watching it in Spanish? I thought you meant there was an Eye on Television Dig or something. Like they only show English programs.
No, when it was on TV the other day, when I was watching it, it was on in Spanish for whatever reason.
No.
So it's nice to know I could have been watching it in English. I do this all the time. Like I recently watched Lake Placid in Spanish and then realized it was on in English on another channel. And I've watched Fast Five in Spanish like 8 times.
You own it.
I know.
You're like my dad. My dad does that. A movie comes on TV and he just watches it when we own it. I'm like, just put it on the DVD. You can skip commercials.
Well, this is what this came up this past weekend with Laddie and I, because I was saying how I watch Twister like 3 times a week because it's on AMC constantly, and so I own the DVD, but I've never taken it out of the plastic
That doesn't make any sense to me. That makes no sense to me. Don't get it. I don't know what your logic is.
Yeah,
they cut out all the good parts.
Yeah, I did take it out of the plastic eventually because last quarter I showed it at a screening at school, so it is finally unwrapped. But that was the first time in like the 8 years I owned it. I take it out because it's just always on TV. I don't know.
It's not an excuse. You have a DVD player.
I do. Yeah. Anyway.
Right. Killing me.
So movies.
Movies.
A couple that Kristin is specifically quite pleased about.
You guys, this was another thing because I was just saying I love westerns.
Yeah, and she was like, they should make more westerns, and I was like,
yeah, I know you don't agree with me, but westerns are it's an under-visited genre right now. Yeah.
And I think like when they do make modern ones, they tend to be really good.
They're so good. They're so good. So you guys, I saw this story that they're possibly going to do a Magnificent Seven remake.
Yeah.
Right. So with Denzel Washington is Chris Larrabee, who was Yul Brynner's character from the 1960 movie. They don't have the Steve McQueen's character picked out yet, but I just thought like, and I don't know if you guys saw Magnificent Seven or if you've ever seen it. So it's like this small town is being kind of harassed by, bandits, and so they hire these 7 gunslingers to like come in and protect the town, and it's so cool. And then there was even that TV show with Ron Perlman and Eric Close and
I remember that.
And it was just rad. Oh, and Dale Midkiff, who I always think of from those cheesy movies on Hallmark, the love song.
Yeah, Hallmark movies.
Oh, good.
I think Denzel would be great for this.
He would be awesome. He would be so good.
Yeah.
Good old Western.
Okay, I feel like lately, because he's been in a few movies lately, and he's looked like, Black Don't Crack, he's looked a little, like, older, but not, like, hugely older, but, like, okay. But then they kept showing him on the Tonys last night. He wasn't in the audience, but they were showing clips from Raisin in the Sun, and he looks 40. Like, gosh. Are you serious?
He would be so good. He would just be so good.
Yeah. And everyone takes him seriously. Nobody wants to mess with a dude like that. So.
And that's why I feel like Magnificent Seven would be so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, if he was in it, it would definitely be good.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He wouldn't sign on if it didn't look good.
No, and I don't know if he's technically signed on yet. The article seemed kind of less like in talks or whatever. And this is like the third person I think that's come through as being the main person. But this would be my dream. I've been waiting for a good Western to come along because they just have those epic landscapes and the 7 of them riding their horse.
Yep.
Oh, it would be so good. It would be so good.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would be quality. I would enjoy it, I'm sure. So here's hoping it happens with.
Come on, Denzel, if you're watching this.
Yeah,
you probably aren't, because you probably
I think
doing something else.
He's a huge Fancave fan. I just know it.
Definitely, I can feel it in my bones.
Yeah.
Please make Magnificent Seven. That would be glorious.
Yeah.
So we need a win here, Denzel.
We need a win for the Western, for Denzel.
We need a win for the Westerns. No one else is making them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what the last, because there's True Grit. I didn't like True Grit, the Coen version.
I liked it. It was okay. It wasn't John Wayne, but I liked Haley. I actually liked Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah, she was.
I liked her better than I always forget the girl that played it in the original. She was just so obnoxious. So I was like, Haley was like kind of, but then she was also just like, she's just kind of a kick-ass little kid, which is what I think that character was supposed to be. So I like the way she did it. I had a hard time getting Jeff Bridges that whole movie, so I was like, what did he say? What did he say?
My whole problem with that movie is that for some reason, this is the weirdest thing. I don't know how this happened, how they didn't consult with multiple people on it, but some sort of like coach who was supposed to teach them about anachronisms and things like that told them that people didn't speak in contractions back then.
Oh.
And so the whole movie, they never use contractions, and it's really distracting that they constantly...
I don't even remember that.
Oh my god, I could not stand it. It was like every time they did it. It's like there's parts where it's funny that they do that, like when he's like, I do not know that man. Like that is not the beef. Like things like that, you're like, okay, that's kind of funny, but like the rest of it, you're just like, it just killed me. I was like so distracted. It was like I couldn't get into like what was happening because all I could think about was you're not supposed to think about the script watching a movie.
True. True. Well, redeem yourselves, movie people. Make a good Western for us.
But, like, I think, like, there was, like, 3:10 to Yuma, and...
I like that one.
The Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward.
Just so, like, there's Flicka, you know? I'm totally kidding. That was not fun. I just wanted to say that because I knew you were going to say.
Wait, is that the one with Armie Hammer?
Yeah. For like 1 second. Remember we watched it for 1 second? Because our friend Bree, you guys, loves Armie Hammer, and so she went through this thing where she wanted to watch everything he was in. And so she said something about him being in Flicka, and I was like, oh, I have Flicka, and I'm like, I don't remember him being in it. So we watched it, and he has like one line, he says like, Catherine, the headmaster wants to see you, and then like walks away, and that was it.
That's it. That's the whole thing.
But yeah, it was so good, and I was like, I'm glad we watched that. But now you can remember that Armie Hammer's in it.
Yep.
So that wasn't really a Western, but we knew they had Hatfields and McCoys when they did that miniseries.
I still haven't seen that, but now that's on Amazon Prime or something, or Netflix, and so I need to. I heard that was wicked good.
It was on Netflix. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin Costner, we all know that I'm in love with him, so of course I'm gonna love it. I even watched it, even though Bill Paxton was in it, and he's such a weenie. I love Bill Paxton. He's just such a giant weenie in everything.
That's true, but he does the weenie well.
Yeah, but it's like obnoxious. I don't know. It bugs me. He bugs me. But anyway, he was good. But he was good in it. And then there's this one guy in it who's actually going to be in another movie, but he plays.
He's going to be in another movie?
Yeah, some other guy.
The way you said that made it sound like that was weird.
Oh.
And there's another guy, and he's actually going to be in another movie.
Yeah. Well, and it's hard actually too because one of the sons, one of like the stupid one, Johnsy. So Hatfield. He's Kevin Costner's son in the movie. He's like a total turd muffin in it, but he played the creepy stalker in One Tree Hill. And so when he showed up in this, I was like,
wait, who is that?
Do you remember? Huh?
Do you remember who that is? I'm trying to picture him.
His real life name?
Yeah.
Or in One Tree Hill?
No, his real life name.
I don't remember his real life name.
Okay,
but
never mind.
He played Psycho Derek in One Tree Hill, and he was in that short-lived CW series Wildcats, you know, about the cheerleaders.
Oh, with
Hellcats,
yeah, with Ashley Tisdale, right?
No. Allie, the girl from Easy A and Cowbells. Allie, AJ.
Oh, one of the Allie and AJs.
Yeah, I think it's Allie.
Was Ashley Tisdale not in that at all?
She was also in it.
Okay,
yeah, she was also in it. You're right. She had brown hair. I always freak when she has brown hair. I feel like she's not Ashley Tisdale, but some.
Because she's a nondescript person.
Yeah, she's like the Greek, like the Greek cousin of Ashley Tisdale or something. So it's like super confusing. But anyway, so he was in it, and so like at first I'm like, oh god, that guy's in it. Oh, and then what's his face? Oh, from
we're so close.
From Last of the Dogmen.
Last of the Dogmen?
That's another really good Western, in case you're looking for one.
Well, yeah.
Oh my god, what's his name? My dad loves this guy. I always want to call him Tom Bergeron. And that's not right. I know it's not Tom Bergeron because that would be ridiculous.
Can you imagine a Western starring Tom Bergeron?
Tom Berenger.
Oh, Tom Berenger. That makes more sense, yeah. But now I'm really can we talk to the casting people at Magnificent Seven and get Tom Bergeron in here?
He can be the narrator of the story.
Yes. Best Western ever.
Oh, Matt Barr. Matt Barr was John C. Hatfield.
Okay. No, I can't picture him, but I'll trust you on that.
Well, anyway, you should see it. It was good. I really liked it.
Okay.
Anyway, Westerns, you guys, so good. They just don't make them anymore. They make them
it wasn't even... It's not like they don't make them like that anymore. It's just straight, they don't make them anymore.
They don't, because I'm not even freaking counting 100 Million Ways to Die in the West, because that looks so stupid I can't even.
Yeah, frickin' McFarlane.
I'm like mad about it. I'm actually kind of mad about it, because I've been waiting for Western, and that's what came.
Yeah. Speaking of anachronisms, I mean, let's not go there. Let's go to another thing you're excited about. Pacific Rim 2. You
guys, today on Nerdist, because that's where I get all my news. Nerdist and Ann Helen. I should probably read MSN or CNN or something.
Who needs it?
Whatever. Anyway, posted this story that I almost called him Benicio del Toro.
There's always that moment where I'm about to say it too. I'm like, it's not the right Del Toro. You know it's not.
I know it's not. But now I can't think of what his real name is. Thank you. Goodness gracious. Guillermo del Toro has started writing Pacific Rim 2, but what was great about the article, he's like, I don't have any money yet, but I'm writing it like I do. Keep dreaming, Guillermo.
Precious.
I kind of, first of all, your name is Guillermo, which will always make me think of the guy from Jimmy Kimmel. So that's what I envision whenever he talks, is being Guillermo. But anyways, I don't know if you guys saw Pacific Rim. It didn't do well, which was unfortunate. But it had a shirtless Charlie Hunnam, which would have been reason enough for you to see it. I don't know. But
it's not real.
Also,
bad,
it was great because it was just fun. It had these giant robots, and they fought these giant aliens, and it was epic, and it was cool looking. And I remember a big group of us went to go see it like a Saturday morning at 10 or something.
That's right.
It was like the day it came out. We're like, let's go see it together. And I think half of us were hungover, and we're like, this will be great. And it was so great, but it didn't do very well, which is such a bummer. But I think the story was saying it might be like a prequel, which would be so cool.
No, he said it won't be a prequel though.
Oh, it won't be a prequel.
It's not Invasion. And that was the thing that I thought was kind of funny, because then it's like talking about like Charlie Day is like, if I had my way, you'd get 3 of these, and he's talking about it's not going to be prequel. So I'm like, the only thing that's unfortunate about that is that tells you like this was just one battle, and this is going to keep happening. Yeah. People are just going to keep dying from kaijus.
Yeah. Or maybe something else comes. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like it has to be a prequel because of the way it ended.
Yeah, well, that's what I would figure. So, but they said it's not going to be. So maybe something else, other kind of monster will invade.
Oh my God, I should read closely. I saw the prequel. I'm like, oh, sweet, it's gonna be a prequel. Okay, cool.
No, very, very specifically said not a prequel. So I don't know. I don't know how they'll make that.
Either way, I'm so excited because it was cool looking and I loved it. And
maybe there's just gonna be another, because I mean where did that one take place?
San Francisco, the Pacific Ocean.
That's Godzilla. It's like
Pacific
Tokyo,
Ocean,
right?
Oh God.
I don't know, something like that.
It was in the. Anyway.
Maybe they don't tell you, but I think I just picked up on like where they were.
I thought they destroyed the Golden Gate Bridge. Oh no, because they're behind the wall. Actually, maybe they don't tell you.
Yeah, but it seems vaguely Asia to me.
It does seem like maybe it's like Shanghai or something.
I'm not sure. So
I don't know.
We're gonna sound so stupid. That's just.
Wow, clearly we really love this movie. We don't know where it took place. I think it's a prequel.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. You guys, it was cool. It was.
But perhaps there's gonna be another like breach in another place.
Area.
Yeah, so they could kind of
come out of the Arctic.
Way. Yeah, Arctic Rim.
Oh, Pacific Rim 2, the Arctic Rim. Pacific Rim 2, Siberia.
And everyone would be like, no, that's fine.
Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Think of the most remote, crazy places they could pop up. But anyway, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I feel good about that. But you know what I feel less good about? Lucas Black.
You guys, here's the thing.
Okay, wait. They are making, and see, this they're going to air on your Ion television, lucky you.
Well, at some point.
Making an NCIS New Orleans.
With my TV dad. This is who, if I had a TV family, my TV dad would be Scott Bakula. I
like that. That's the thing. It's got the flawless Scott Bakula, Paige Turco, CCH Pounder, and Lucas Black.
You guys, I don't know if you guys have heard our rant before about Fast and Furious 3, but we're going to have it right now.
Yep.
Lucas Black almost killed Fast and Furious.
Yeah, just maimed it.
I mean, literally, they almost stopped making them after the third one. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Okay, although he is from Alabama, so that accent is his voice. It sounds fake.
It sounds fake. He sounds ridiculous. And on his IMDb page, one of the facts about him is like basically he says like, you know, I don't think you should have to try that hard when you're acting. You should just play characters that are kind of like you. In defending why he wouldn't take a role because he had to change his accent. I'm like, you sound like an idiot though. Like, so now I just think he's an idiot. Oh, he's the worst. But his accent, like, it's so dopey. The only time that it's really worked for me is in 42, the Jackie Robinson movie.
Oh, that's
because he is kind of dopey and like it's just kind of like like, you know. But he just ruins everything. He ruins everything. Wasn't he in what was that movie that should have been good but wasn't, with Dennis Quaid and
Dennis Quaid wants a coffee.
Dennis Quaid is here. He doesn't say that in it. It's with like the
Rookie?
angels. No, the like bad angels coming. I want to say, is it Tyrese who's in it? No.
Angel.
Do you remember this? It was, I want to say it has like, it might start with a P, but I could be wrong. Okay, Lucas Black, I believe, was in this movie with Dennis Quaid, and it should have been a good movie, and it was awful. And amongst the reasons that it was awful is that he is a stick of wood.
Pandora?
Nope, that's not it. Scroll down further. Legion! It doesn't start with a P at all. It's Legion.
Oh, okay. Oh, Legion. That one had angels in it. Now I remember.
It did have angels. And isn't that Lucas Black as well?
Yeah. He plays a guy named Jeep. Oh, Tyrese is
and
in
he's
it.
Okay, it was Tyrese. I wasn't making things up. Tyrese is like the best part of it. And it has Kevin Durant, who I love, and it's like all this stuff.
And Paul Bettany is in it. I can take Willa.
That's true. I
Kate
can take
Walsh.
or leave Paul Bettany. So it should have been good. And like they tried to do this love interest thing with him, and he's just like, he has no emotions, and I don't buy him trying to save anyone. Like, I imagine like zombie apocalypse or anything, he is like first guy gone. Like, possibly just like in front of the TV or on the John or something. He's so dopey. And so he's playing a special agent on NCIS. Like, who is supposed to buy that guy got through schooling that it takes or training that it takes?
Yeah, he can barely drift, you guys. Come on.
Yeah,
be real.
right? His drift is... It needs work.
And he's going to be in Fast 7, you know.
Which this is a great pop culture text as well. I get a text message after seeing Fast 6 from Laddie here, and she's like, oh my god, do you think this means that Lucas Black is going to be in the 7th one? And I just like had this moment, I was just like, no. And sure enough, our nightmares were confirmed. I'm hoping it's just going to be like a cameo, though, you know, and it's not going to be like he is a part of the crew.
I mean, but the thing is, they must go. I mean, they have to go to Tokyo because.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
He's going to be there.
He's going to be there, and I'm hoping it's just going to be like, he's there, we acknowledge that he is part of the Han storyline, and then we're done.
But remember at the end of Tokyo Drift, when Vin Diesel has his one line, when he just, like, pulls up next to him, I mean, that was like hey, come ride with us, you know?
Oh, yeah, that's true, huh?
That was his induction there.
But that was before we knew. That was before it came out, and they realized we've made a huge mistake. So... I don't know. It's one of those things where I like the way that they're doing this weird timeline with Fast and Furious. I think it's really unique to do it this way. I just don't like that means we're getting him back because he was watching a potato act. I can't with that guy. Ugh.
He just has dead eyes too, a little bit.
Just dead eyes.
He's like, well, I think I'm gonna like the Great Lakes region. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh gosh.
I'm like, do not make this go horrible for Power Man, okay? That's what I call Bakula. In case you're wondering.
I like it.
Quantum Leap, he would glow. He would glow, and so I'd always call him Power Man.
That's so cute.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, actually, I would say Power Man because I was like, you know.
Yeah, a little kid. I don't think I had a cute nickname for him. I just.
Oh my god,
I just loved that show.
And then when he was in Chuck for a little bit, and he was so good. Oh, he was so good.
Chuck had a lot of good people on it, and I never watched it.
Dude, Chuck was a good show. Although
it's the same with that Fringe one too.
Fringe was okay. You're gonna hate me. Those are also 2 series I never finished. You guys, I'm like a chronic non-finisher of TV series.
You know, series is already plural.
Yes, I did know that.
Just checking.
Much like moose is plural.
Moosin' in the woodsin?
There are 3 moose. Anyway. Scott Bakula. That guy.
And we just needed to get that little
rant off. Why is that a thing? That should be there.
Why that's a thing.
Why is Lucas Black a thing, you guys?
Like, and NCIS spin-offs. I don't...
Dude,
I don't get why everyone watches those shows.
I love them. I'll tell you why.
You have one channel, that's why.
And that one's not even on it.
NCIS?
Mm-mm.
It was on it when I used to watch it because they always had those commercials during
No,
Criminal
they
Minds.
don't have them anymore. They should bring it back because all they freaking have is Criminal Intent, which is the worst.
Oh yeah, that is the worst.
That one is the worst of the Law and Orders. So,
for sure.
No, they have Psych, Monk, Leverage. They have a lot of
USA.
TNT stuff. Yeah.
Oh, TNT? No, that's.
Leverage was TNT.
Oh yeah, you're right. They filmed that in Portland.
Anyway, they have just like a lot of these other shows, but I wish they had freaking NCIS because I love original NCIS. I love NCIS LA mainly because my man LL Cool J is on it and Chris O'Donnell. Oh, cute.
Adorable.
Oh my god.
With his millions of
and
children.
freaking Marty Deeks. I know that's his name. Eric Christian Olsen. I just think he's so cute.
Oh, Eric Christian Olsen. There's something I don't like about that guy, and I can't explain what it is. He just has a douche face to me.
He does have a douche face, but he's so funny in the show. I love him. Anyway, I know. People hate NCIS. Everyone does. I don't know why.
But not everyone does, because it's like the highest rated show in the world.
But everybody says, why do people watch this show? Yeah. And honestly, all the episodes are the same.
Yeah.
You know? I don't watch it because it's some epic storyline that I can't, skip. You know, I catch the reruns. It's fun. And the characters are really funny, and they have a good banter. And
I can't do Polly Perrette. She annoys me.
Oh, she can get a little much. If you're ever watching a marathon, I usually get a couple in. I'm like, okay, I'm done with you now.
Too much of that.
But I know they're fun, and I just think they're funny, and I love.
Okay, well,
Mark
just
Harmon.
keep in mind, you're the reason this is happening.
I'm okay with that.
You are the reason. There's an NCIS New Orleans happening with Lucas Black.
You're welcome. You're welcome, America. I did write a letter to somebody saying, why isn't there more Scott Bakula on TV? So I'm glad someone listened to it.
Someone was listening. There you go.
Shockingly, no one ever listens to me, but this time they did. They answered my prayers. Maybe they'll have Scott Bakula in a Western.
I see it.
And you know who else could be in it? Kevin Costner.
I was gonna say Tom Bergeron, but
and also Tom Bergeron.
Yeah.
Oh man, Tom. I gotta remember that.
Yeah,
so similar, the names.
Very different. Yeah, but very different people.
Very different.
We gotta close this out. So we're gonna close out with a new segment here. We call the Pop 5, and we may have guest Pop 5s in the future. We'll see what happens. But these are 5 things that are worth knowing about to talk around the water cooler.
Mm-hmm.
So, starting with number 1, Johnny Depp is 51 years old today. What?
Wow, that is mind-blowing.
51, and marrying a woman our age. So, ladies and gents, dreams do come true for super wealthy middle-aged guys with really good genes.
Dream on, guys. Dream on. Also, the creators of The Walking Dead have announced that they have a plan for the show through, wait for it, season 12. 12. And as we said earlier, eat your heart out, CW, because AMC is coming for your longevity. That is epically long.
This is... Forget Smallville.
Forget One Tree Hill. Move over, guys.
This is what you guys are committing to. In Saturday News, alternative comedy legend Rick Mail, known to kids of our generation for Drop Dead Fred and known to real grown-ups for some really groundbreaking television, has died at age 56. So, peace out.
Tip your 40.
I'm not going to make tip your 40. I'm not going to make a Drop Dead joke. I'm sure somebody is.
I'm sure
I'm not that guy.
Too soon. Too soon.
Number 4.
Also, keeping on the sadder note, Tracy Morgan is in critical condition, but apparently now responsive after a super crazy car accident that happened in New Jersey this weekend. So you guys, wear seatbelts.
Right.
You know?
Seatbelts.
Yeah. Seatbelts. Limo, taxi, school bus. They have them on school buses now. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Just put them on, because that's rough. But I'm glad to hear he was responsive, so.
I know, right? That's good news. There's some good news. There's a silver lining there. And number 5, in the least surprising news of the week, Nasim Pedrad has more or less told us she's not returning to SNL next season. But real talk, I was surprised literally every time she was on SNL this season. I thought she just pulled an Abby Elliott and she was just gone. And I was like, that's fine. That's cool. So, you go on and get yours, Nasim, on the Mulaney show. We'll keep doing ours.
Yeah, we will.
So that's the Pop 5 for the week.
There it is.
And with that, I think we're ready to blow this popsicle stand. What do you think?
I'm ready for that thinking as well.
Yep. So
Clearly.
Thanks for listening, everybody. As always, links to the stuff we talked about available on the blog at electricfeast.com, which I called electricfancave.com last week. That was not accurate.
We're like, I can't find it. How did this... I typed your symptoms into the bar up here, and it says you have network connectivity problems.
Did you say that was an improvised? Oh, were you the one who said that? Who pointed out that was an improvised line?
Did I point that out? I don't remember.
No, maybe not.
I don't think I was. But that's brilliant if it is. That's why I love Chris Pratt. Reason 50 million. I love Chris Pratt.
Yeah, it was like apparently it actually came up on the computer and he just said it. So
I love him so
Chris
much.
Pratt.
Oh my god, he's so good.
Yeah, anyway, feel free to interact with us any old time. You can email us at electricfancave@gmail.com, comment on the Electric Feast Facebook or on the blog or on the YouTube, and follow us on the Tweety @electricfancave. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, and anywhere else the podcast shows up. And if you like us, we'd be grateful for a rating/review. If you hate us, this is the WTF pod with Mark Maron. Till next time, I'm Corrigan Vaughn.
And I'm Kristin Latterell. Kitchy. Sorry.
Or you could just start singing Moulin Rouge right as
You know how you always play music at the beginning? That's what it should be. Kitchy, yeah.
Lady Marmalade. Oh, yeah, that would be really fitting. I think that really sets the tone for this show.